Hey guys, I'm gonna do a video on how people's respect has changed from 90s, early 2000s till now. I went to CC's twice in the past 2 months. The first time it was with my fiance and his boss. His boss was opening the door for a lady walking. She was texting on her phone, and he held the door open for her. She was taking her sweet time. And when she walked through, she just started walking on the sidewalk, didn't say anything, didn't even acknowledge that he had the door open for her. And he looked at me and my fiance and looked at her and was like, "You're welcome." And she turned back around, lifted her head up from her phone, and was like, "Oh, thank you," rolled her eyes, turned back, and started walking again. And I just shook my head. I've been raised, whenever someone opens the door for you, whenever there's someone behind you struggling with the door, have their hands full, whatever, you always open the door for them. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, it's just the polite thing to do. And you always say thank you after. I think a lot of the problem with respect now is phones. Like, you'll have people walking on the sidewalks, texting, they'll bump into you, and they won't say sorry or anything. They won't even acknowledge that they bumped into you until you physically say something. The other time I went to Little CC's was actually yesterday for lunch with my fiance. And when we got done eating, we went back out to the car. There was a couple with 4 of their kids. And the dad had 2 of the little ones. The mom had the, I'm guessing, middle-aged one maybe, up on the hood of the car, looking at his knee. So I'm guessing he fell somehow. And the oldest one, well, the tallest one, starts punching my car. And I could hear over my radio. And I turned my radio down, and I rolled down my window, and I'm like, "Can you please stop your kid from hitting my car? I don't appreciate it." The mom stops looking at the kid's knee that she has in the hood of the car, picks him up, puts him down on the ground, comes over to my window, and was like, "What'd you just say?" And I'm like, "I don't appreciate your kid hitting my car." She's like, "You need to leave my kid alone. You need to keep your mouth shut. He's not hurting you. He's not hurting your car. You best just leave now." I, in all honesty, didn't know what to say. I'm not the type to sit there and just start to push disrespect back on people. So if anything like that does happen, I usually just walk away from it, keep quiet, whatever, to avoid confrontation. I wanted to say a lot, trust me, I did, but there was kids there. Obviously those kids don't have the respect at home. So I just rolled up my window. I held my cool. Surprisingly, I held my cool. And pulled out of my spot after they decided they were going to move out from the back of my car so I could leave. And I got up the road, pulled back into another parking space area, and got out to look at the car to make sure, I don't know if he had a ring on or anything to scratch the car, and I needed to get stuff to fix the scratches on it. Well, there wasn't anything, thankfully. I don't know, it's just, I'm dumbfounded with how much disrespect people have now. My aunt is actually a middle school teacher up in Toledo, Ohio, and she comes home with the craziest disrespectful stories ever. When I was going to school, it was skipping classes was the thing, doing pranks on people, whatever. But, you know, there were a couple talking back to the teacher or whatever. But to her and in this school, it's a constant bad-mouthing the teacher. It's a constant people threatening people, kids fighting, doing this, doing that. It's, I don't know. I guess depending on how you were raised, it just makes you sit back and think, why? It's quite clear that this business casual clown is an expert when it comes to balance. I was raised up on a farm most of my life. I always had to get up early before school, go make sure the cows, the bulls, the steers, the chickens, dogs, cats, ducks, all had water, gave all them food for breakfast, get home from school, and once I finished my homework, I would have to go right back outside, clean the pasture, clean the chicken coop. I'd have to go to the pond, feed the fish, put the stuff in the pond, like the chemicals, keep the pond clean so we can swim in it and whatever. Feed the ducks, chickens, cows, bulls, steers, work with them so we are able to go into the pastures and the chicken coops and stuff and not be attacked. Whenever someone would open the door, if I seen someone struggling with the door or someone's behind me or whatever, to hold the door open for them because it's respectful. You can tell the people that were born before the, I guess, disrespectful era. I don't really like to call it that because I have a niece that is 13 now, and she's respectful to some people. People she doesn't really know, she gets an attitude with. My nephew, he's respectful to an extent, but it's still not like how it was. And that's just because their parents don't get on them about things. They don't teach them respect in the house. They just, it's not there. It's not really the kids' fault as much as the parents. I understand now, you know, there's a lot going on in the world. It's crazy, but respect isn't that hard to teach. Discipline isn't that hard to do without beating your child to death. I don't know, just yesterday made me sit back and think, what went wrong? Anyways, on a good note, it is Friday today. Pretty excited. I don't know, Friday is always a good day. I think that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to get that out, and if you guys have any stories on people disrespecting, anything like I had with the kid hitting my car and the mom saying the kid wasn't doing anything wrong, or the lady that walked through the door with my fiance's manager holding it and not saying anything because she was on her phone, you should let me know and just kind of let me see what kind of crazy things happen to you guys too, disrespectful things, and I will make sure to read them, and I'm sure it'll be quite interesting. Bye guys.